Pedro lover.
Wendy's a Pedro lover.
High five. There's a retard.
Retard in the house.